Only French, since we're talking about Europe today. This might be needed. Can't do California. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miscellaneous Gab, and today we're going to have some fun. We're gonna talk Bridgerton again. Enter our imagination zones, enter the creative zone. So join me, grab a drink, grab a lemonade, I guess you could say. Did they really ever drink in Bridgerton? Because at all the galas, everything, it was lemonade. Bridgerton hasn't necessarily left my mind. Maybe it has left yours. I actually recently asked Midjourney AI to turn me into a Bridgerton character recently, and it came up with this. Anyway, I thought it would be fun if we fuse the worlds of Bridgerton, the different seasons, actually create a Bridgerton Bachelor bracket where we figure out who is the best Bridgerton Bachelor once and for all. For criteria, I could only pick 16, so I picked anyone that has like some sort of love interest in the Bridgerton world, Bridgerton universe, which includes Queen Charlotte, Bridgerton 1, 2, and 3. The way I'm approaching this, I'm acting as though I'm the older sister, you know, the Kate Sharma, if you will. It is my job to find a suitable bachelor for my little sister, Miscellaneous Grace. Who would I choose to marry my little sister? I'm sure you have an idea of who it kind of will be. Let's get into the reasoning. So without further ado, all right, so here's the bracket and let's get started. So first things first, we have Jack Featherington against Lord Ledger. This doesn't look great, guys, for either of them. I will say that Jack Featherington, while morally dubious, has a means to an end for his goals. Lord Ledger, the elephant in the room here is that he's old as shit and his daughter would be as old as my sister. And the whole fact that he is married. We have a cheater pumpkin eater who's old, and we have a morally dubious con man who's also kind of old. The cheater pumpkin eater old man is nice, and this guy is kind of not nice, self-serving, whatever. I'm gonna have to go with Lord Ledger, provided the fact that he's not married. So round one, it's not looking great. All right, who's next? Okay, we have Duke Adolphus versus Theo Sharpe. By the way, guys, this is completely random. I let this bracket maker decide. Okay, so in terms of Duke Adolphus, Duke, wealthy, well-connected, might be a little demanding, might be a little like rushing into things with the children. He really wanted Lady Danbury to kind of like hurry the heck up. That is definitely a concern for me. But then we have Theo Sharpe, right? He's sensitive, he's sweet, he's smart, he's kind, and he's also sensitive to women's rights issues. You could call him a feminist in some ways, like the good kind, not the bad kind. Looks wise, I'd say it's a toss up. It really just depends on your preference. I think they're both handsome. They're both young. Obviously the Duke, I think my sister would have more of an opportunity in this life, and she might find more love with Theo Sharpe. So unfortunately, if I'm looking at this in terms of society, I'm gonna have to go with Duke Adolphus. This was a tough one. We have the Prince Friedrich. So if you don't remember, Prince Friedrich was from season 1. He was an eligible bachelor for Daphne Bridgerton, and he was the Queen Charlotte's pick for her. So he really wanted him to marry her. He's like a Austro-Hungarian Prussian prince of some sort versus the husband of one of the Featherington girls, Albion Finch, the other guy. So obviously we're gonna have to go with Prince Friedrich. I mean, he was still quite nice. He was still lovely. He's a freaking prince. He's handsome. Look at that fit. Look at that drip he has on. This guy seems nice, but he's kind of a buffoon. Sorry. Ooh, okay. Lord Marcus, who is Violet Bridgerton's potential garden plower. He's potentially plowing that garden in this upcoming season. Versus Anthony Bridgerton. So, I mean, okay, Anthony. We'll probably get into his quandaries. Now, Lord Ledger versus Duke Adolphus. Yeah, still he is younger. He's a duke. He's not a cheater. He's not old. So we're gonna have to go here. Prince Friedrich versus Anthony Bridgerton. So this is kind of hard, right? I think physically Anthony Bridgerton is a bit more handsome, as long as we're just forgetting that he had that completely horrendous mutton chop era and instead was treated to the Bridgerton glow up of season 2. Prince Friedrich has, I guess, more, I mean, a prince versus a viscount, sort of. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to go with Anthony here because he is still wealthy, good social standing. He's really been through it, I think, in a way that has given him moral character. So he has been through the trauma of watching his father literally become unalived by a bee. He had to be the main man of the house while he was still grieving. Everything that he kind of learned about himself during his courtship with Kate Sharma, and he is a good husband. Seems like a good lover too. So Anthony, yeah, okay, so between these two, it's Anthony. Probably to no one's surprise, Anthony is the winner of the left side bracket. Okay, so then we have Colin Bridgerton versus Harry Dankworth, who is the other Featherington sister's brother. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of Colin, but I am a bigger fan of him versus this guy because he is quite, I would say he's quite handsome, especially so far as the Feathering sisters are concerned. I would say if he was going up against somebody else, I might choose him. Like if he was going up against Lord Ledger, perhaps, or perhaps even Lord Marcus. Colin is going to have to win this early seed round, but you know what? Anything can happen. Okay, so next we have the Mondrich versus Benedict Bridgerton. Now, some of you might actually not agree with this, but there's a lot of people out there who says Benedict's like the finest Bridgerton of them all. While I am not of the opinion that he's ugly, I don't feel similarly. Let's just say that. So what do we have in terms of merits as a bachelor for my sister pretending they're not with someone? Mondrich, we already know. In an alternate universe, he's a family man. Benedict has been going through some things, multiple things, for multiple seasons, right? It's deserved 2 plot lines. Sexual exploration, whether that's sexual orientation exploration, whether that's art school. He's been exploring, right? He's been exploring. Love that for him. Benedict, love that for you. His homegirl wanted to settle down with him. And he's like, nah, fam, I just whet my appetite. I'm ready for the whole damn platter. Because of that, French, not California. French, not California. Because of that, I'm going with Mondrich. And Mondrich is a boxer. He's active. He does what it takes. Sometimes it's a little dubious as well. Sorry, Benedict, you're out on the first round. That's embarrassing. Lord Debling versus King George. I mean, this should not come as a surprise to anyone. I mean, Lord Debling, let's talk about just why he's gotta go. He does like Penelope for who she is. Part of why I think he likes Penelope is because she's independent and can do her own thing. And this man is nothing except doing his own thing. He goes to the extremes of the Regency era to do his own thing. Georgie, it's you. Here we have the Duke Hastings versus the late, great Edmund Bridgerton. Unfortunately, we don't know a whole lot about Edmund Bridgerton other than Violet loved him. He was a sweet husband and he met his unfortunate demise by a tiny bee. I feel like that should lose you aura points. Killed by a bee. Obviously, for looks, for fortune, whatever, we're gonna have to go with Duke of Hastings. There's probably a bit more to be said about him once we do another matchy match. First round, done. Okay, so now we have Colin Bridgerton versus Mondrich. Obviously, in terms of like social standing, the Bridgertons are a bit well off, and while that is important, it's not everything. And we've already seen in the Bridgerton world, like Mondrich's wife, she just randomly rolled into a fortune as well, so anything can happen. I have never been one to like season 3 version of Colin Bridgerton. I think before he was fine, he was sweet, he was friends with Penelope. I really don't like whatever like mouth open like thing he's having. I think deep down he is this sweet guy, but he's pretended to be rakish, playboy, womanizer, don't care, player, I don't want to get married, goodbye, I'm too good for Penelope until she rejects me and then I get all horny about it. Those are some demerits towards Colin Bridgerton that I don't like. I also think it's just kind of weird that he's like jealous of Penelope because she's a better writer than him, instead of being like, oh, thanks, fam. I have maybe weirdly enough, I have stuff to learn from you. Mondrich is cute, he's a boxer, and he's a hard worker. We're going Mondrich. Ooh, this is the toughest one. This is tough, guys. This is tough. We gotta consider a lot of pros and cons here. We gotta talk, we gotta dial in. We have to dial in. If you haven't dialed in yet, it's time. We have King George. Who's the king? Okay, so pros. Is king. Is very sweet. Is cute. Is nice. Did I mention he's king? Cons. Is crazy. Sorry. Dealing with some pretty significant health challenges, is unpredictable, is potentially erratic, and just have a lot of issues in general. You know, he's the king who lost the American colonies, like all this stuff happened, whatever. Now let's look at the pros and cons of the Duke. Pros is probably the most attractive Bridgerton male, is a Duke. Eventually he seems like a good lover. Let's just put it that way, based on what Daphne was up to with him in the countryside. He's been able to grow and blossom. Cons, has had a fuckboy past, guys. I mean, we can't ignore that. He's been a rake. He's used women. He's been kind of a standoffish. He's lied. He's been a liar. Well, was he a liar, or did Daphne never just go through like health class in 8th grade? You be the judge of that. Maybe a misleader, a purposeful leaving things out. And yeah, I think he still has like a lot of daddy issues. So here's the thing. Obviously, like, it's going well for him and Daphne, so he's a reformed fuckboy. But have they really had a chance to like get through the hard stuff? Maybe it's lust, maybe it's love. She just is his new thing, and he might go back to his rakish ways. Because even though he's kind of reformed, come around, he's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do the thing in you so that you have a baby, and yeah, you kind of treat me, whatever, we're fine. Like let's go there together. He still has a lot of baggage. King George has a lot of, I guess what's the opposite of baggage? King George has a lot of problems as well. But even with his problems, it's worked out for Queen Charlotte. This is hard. I knew this would happen. I was anticipating that this would be that these 3 guys would be in my top 3. I'm gonna have to go with King George. Plus he's a king. Now we have King George versus Mondrich. Honestly, is anyone surprised Mondrich made it this far? The final 4 of Bridgerton, this is due to the random matchup. Duke Adolphus, Anthony Bridgerton, Mondrich, and King George. I will have to just go with King George. All right, did it surprise anybody that Anthony would be in the final 2 in the championship game? See, I don't watch sports, so this is my Super Bowl. This is what I'm dealing with. We've come a long way since Lord Ledger, since Featherington, Friedrich, Debling, what have you. Who are we picking, guys? I'm gonna talk through this, but answer in the comments before you hear what I say, and then start the video. And then subscribe to my channel, and then like this video. You've kind of heard me deep dive into George. Anthony, I still have similar concerns about his rakish past as I do with the Duke. We have found out that he did not get taken out by a bee, unlike his father, but he's someone who's been through trials and tribulations. Given the time, men don't talk about their feelings. It's not okay for men to show weakness. So I am sympathetic that they can't really just like go get therapy for their problems and kind of have to play them out in real time. We got to dial in for my sister here for miscellaneous grace. I think George is maybe sweeter. He doesn't have the fuckboy past, what have you. He's king. He's king. So even if he's like missing in action in a few years, like my sister can still wear some cool wigs and gowns and whatever. But I feel like it would be hard long-term to be with someone like George, because as much as you love them and grow closer to him, he's growing away from you by no fault of your own. He's just kind of like deteriorating into madness. So, and you know, they had all these kids together, and the kids kind of turned out pretty rancid. With someone like Anthony Bridgerton, she will live in good social standing. She'll have plenty of like fuck you money. Handsome guy, hopefully has learned and grown from his hardships. Seems to be a good lover based on what's going on with him and Kate. And I feel like, yeah, like the more in love he gets, the sexier he gets. It's sexy to see a man in love, right? The winner, by choice of me and me alone, I am dubbing the winner of the Bridgerton Bachelor bracket, say that 3 times fast, to be Anthony Bridgerton. We're very proud of him. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you would like to see more Bridgerton brackets. Maybe we should do the girls next, or just more brackets in general from some of our favorite shows. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, stay tuned and we will chat very soon. Your support means the absolute world to me. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. And I know that sounds like so silly and so tiny compared to other people on YouTube, but the fact that each and every one of you watching this hit subscribe at some point, liked it, it really, really means so much to me. I would be nothing without you. So thanks again, enjoy your week, and we'll talk soon. Bye.